Good morning, everyone. Lebanon has always been a land of dialogue, diversity, and strong opinions. In a country where people's voices rise for change, justice, and truth, what better way to celebrate that spirit than through a debate? Firstly, we would like to warmly welcome Smart College for joining us in this exciting competition. We have 2 rounds of debate lined up for you. The first will feature our grade 10 and 11 students who will be debating the following topic. Should governments have access to private citizens' data in the name of national security? The second debate will bring together grade 12 students from both Ajyal High School and Smart College who will be tackling a highly relevant topic. Is being a social media influencer an honest profession, or does it exploit personal branding for profit without true value? Today is not about arguing, it's about listening, thinking critically, and respecting different viewpoints. So we look forward to a day full of insight, passion, and the power of words. Let the debates begin. Now, to introduce the 2 groups that will be debating the first topic on government access to private citizens' data. With the topic, we have Ali Badruddin, Hamza Consul, and Nabila Shaib. And against the topic, we have Ru'a Htet, Zahra Aseh, and Maryam Tarhini. Let's give them a big round of applause and wish them the best of luck.
Hello, everyone. The very first key in any debate is acknowledging that the other side or the other idea or the other person facing us has some merit in their point of view. This is the key of debating. Yani if you always consider that they are totally wrong or they are totally incorrect or they are just arguing for the sake of argument, then you will never ever win a debate. You should always consider that the other person has some merit, has some knowledge, some rationale in their idea. Then if you start there, you might win the case of debates. The second idea I want to say before we go ahead and start is that governments throughout the centuries used to be run through debates. يمكن هلا it's a different case. نحن when it comes to politics we are going backward, by the way. If you check the politics how it used to be run back for example in the Greek days, they used to depend on Paideia seminars, for example, to decide on a certain topic, decide if they want to go to war or not, decide if they want to seize a city or not. They used to come together all in the mid of the day, even public people can attend, and then they used to discuss that idea or topic and decide holistically on it, even if some people were with or against. Hala, you should learn how to listen, how to respect, and not to attack directly. هذا شيء كتير مهم. Indirect attack بالdebate is way more influencing. Okay? You use direct attack, هيدا the last weapon you have, and you never attack the person, you attack the idea. يعني ما فيك تقول له okay, you can't say this because you're wearing white, for example, or you're wearing blue, or you are the black team. You are attacking the person, not the idea here. Okay? وهيدا على فكرة اللي بيصير in politics بلبنان. Whenever 2 people go on TV, on national TV, and they start discussing a political idea, they attack the person, they don't attack the idea. انت بتسوى، انت ما بتسوى، انت مع هيدول، انت ضد هيدول، مزبوط؟ طب how about his ideas? نحن we should learn things the right way. And one of the right ways is to respect the time of the debate. So let's try, because we're going to switch هلا صح؟ You're going to have 2 or 3 minutes each person. Okay? طيب 3 to 4 minutes. It's fine. Okay, ما بدنا اياهم يزهقوا الصبايا والشباب. وبليز audience try عن جد to listen to their ideas لأنه the topics are both important and controversial. يعني في منكم رح يكونوا مع هيدي الفكرة وفي ناس ضد هاي الفكرة، فاسمعوا الطرفين وشوفوا شو بيحكوا. Who's gonna start? Okay, تفضل مسيو.
Hello. Hello everyone, my name is Ali Sajjad Badruddin, and today me and my team are here today to debate why we believe that governments should have the personal information of private citizens, bring it close, okay, of private citizens in the name of national security. Now, as I can assume, and correctly so, a majority of you all have or had at least once in your lifetimes access to social media. The first thing that these social media platforms do is they ask you for your personal information and you give it to them without a thought. What is the difference between giving our information to these social media applications versus our governments? Our governments can use this information to help us in our everyday lives, while corporations only seek to drain us of our monetary value. With helping us in our everyday lives, our legal and health records shared between different governmental departments can give us more convenience. Say if you wanted to get a personal ID or passport, it would be faster and more efficient. And in emergencies, your medical records being between multiple different government departments could help even save your life. Governments could also use our information as an early warning system against terror attacks. For example, in 2003, the FBI, through a lengthy investigation including internet surveillance and data tracking, were able to shut down a massive Texas poisoning plot which saved thousands of lives and helped lead help expose a white supremacist group. This was a huge win for the FBI. However, imagine the time, money, and resources that were spent on this lengthy investigation. They could have been diverted into civil institutions such as public health care and public education and public works of art. This could have helped guide and even save thousands more lives than it did that day, if only the government had access to their information. On the contrary, governments aren't always so lucky when it comes to counter-terrorism operations, which was the case on March 20th, 2015, where a series of suicide bombings killed 140 people and injured 300 in Yemen. It goes along the same case. If the government had access to their information, these innocent men, women, and children could still be alive today. If we constantly think about the lives that could have, should have, would have been saved had they had this access, then nothing will happen. We must take action and immediate action this instant. Imagine the children whose homes are figuratively and literally ripped apart every day. If these were one of your family members, would you still think that your personal privacy matters more than their lives? There comes a time where we must ask ourselves, what's more important? The data of individuals on a screen or the individuals' lives whom this data represents? Thank you for your time.
We are here for the sake of learning, right? We need to learn from each other. Who can give me one point that you can improve in your presenting your point when it comes to debates? Anybody can suggest a point here? Yes. Okay, yani your voice should go like not stay monotonous all the time. Okay, you need to take pauses when you're orally presenting the information. I need to add another more important idea. You as team members, you should forget about us and the audience. You should direct your speech, your ideas, your rationales, your appeals to the other team. This is what debate is about. You know, don't look to the audience clear. The audience are here to listen to you. They are gonna listen one way or another. Just try to keep and maintain eye contact with the other team and try to be direct talking to them or looking at them at the least. Okay? Yeah. Go ahead, Ms.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rohtet, and I'm a citizen who values freedom, security, and the right to live with no surveillance. To begin with, I would like to respectfully disagree with everything Mr. Ali Badruddin has stated. Because, Mr. Badruddin, if anything, we should be pushing corporations for better privacy instead of using their flaws to justify even more powerful surveillance by the state. Because there's a major difference right here. We voluntarily share our information with social media platforms, and we can even use anonymous accounts or misinformation, or even simply delete our accounts. More importantly, that we have laws that protect us from any leaks, like the GDPR, which discloses how these corporations use their information and penalizes them for any leaks. Meanwhile, on the other hand, governments use data with total secrecy, no accountability, no transparency. So the question isn't whether corporations actually have our data or not, but it's whether we want to double down this leak or this surveillance on a broken system, or just fight for our right to privacy. And now I would like to start with my main argument. Under the title, Privacy Sacrificed in the Name of Security is Freedom Lost in the Name of Fear. Imagine waking up to find that everything you've ever searched, texted, or said in private is now under someone else's control. Not a stranger, not a hacker, but your own government. We were sent for our own protection, that giving out a little bit of privacy means gaining a lot of safety. But is that really the trade-off? Or are we handing over our freedom under the illusion of being safe? Well, behind words like national security and counterterrorism, there's a darker reality. First of all, when privacy becomes a weapon. Let's face a dangerous truth. Governments do use our data to target political opponents. Let's take Palestine as an example. In the latest genocide, the Amnesty International uncovered that the Israeli government has been using Pegasus spyware to hack into the phones of Palestinian activists and journalists. And then, of course, as we all know, they target them later. Well, none of these individuals were known as threats. Their only crime was defending Palestinian rights and standing out against injustice. This is not about national security anymore. This is not about safety. This is about silencing the truth. So, as we all know, not all governments are innocent the way you're talking, Mr. Ali Badruddin. Second point, privacy doesn't just die. It gets stolen. So when governments just store our data, it becomes a gold mine for hackers. In Argentina in 2022, hackers broke into the database of the government and leaked some sensitive photos, sensitive ID numbers, sensitive bank accounts. And the problem is that these data were later posted for sale on social media. What kind of privacy are you calling for? Simply, all because someone thought that privacy could be stored like files in a drawer. Third, and the most important point, is that we're going to be later on judged by a machine, not a mind. Sounds cool? Think again. Surveillance is not passive anymore, it's predictive. Because, let me explain how this happens, how this works. Governments rely on AI systems to scan our messages, locations, and data, all data, and shape these data in a pattern. AI systems try to match this pattern to another pattern that it was trained to see as risky. And when this process succeeds, of course, you're going to be targeted as a potential threat without doing anything. Because let's be real, AI is not a human. It doesn't understand emotions, intentions, or even, it's not a human. It doesn't have a brain, doesn't have a heart. Then we'll be judged by a machine and not a mind. That's not justice anymore. That's a robot playing judge, jury, and executioner all in one. And now some, like the gentleman right here, are going to argue it's okay if governments have just some of our data. But when some data today becomes total access tomorrow, partial surveillance is just a slower road to full access. So ask yourself, what's the point of security if it comes with silence, fear, and surveillance? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Monsieur Anson. Let's try to respect the time.
Hello. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, respected judges and worthy opponents. My name is Hamza Yahya Ansu, and I stand here today to strongly argue in favor of the notion governments should have access to private citizens' data in the name of national security. Now, concerning what Ms. Roa said, while concerns about privacy are valid, it's important to recognize that responsible government access to data can save lives. With proper legal oversight and regulation, such access isn't about controlling, it's about protection. Protecting national security sometimes means and requires limited lawful data access to stop threats before they happen. It's not hacking, it's prevention. Now, it's the strategic defense that prioritizes safety without turning every citizen into a suspect. For example, the prevention of terror attacks through data surveillance. Oh my God! So that so that the access can be the difference between life and death. A 2016 study by the Belfer Center for Science and International Affairs, BCSIA, at Harvard University found that metadata analysis can significantly help intelligence agencies prevent terrorist attacks and track terrorist networks. Instead of fearing misuse, we should just focus on accountability. Because when used correctly, data doesn't just inform, it protects. Some argue that relying on AI systems can lead to bias and errors. But these systems are not used in isolation. They are being controlled by humans to ensure fairness and accuracy. For example, in the US, predictive policing tools are cross-checked with the human analysis to reduce false positives and prevent discriminatory targeting, showing that technology, when combined with accountability, can be a tool for safety. I'm going to be presenting 4 key points. The importance of national security, legal oversight and regulation, the data already shared with corporations, and a trade-off for safety. Firstly, government access to data can help prevent terrorist attacks. In today's digital age, criminals and terrorists use encrypted messaging apps on social media to plan attacks. The 2015 Paris attacks were coordinated online, and access to digital communications could have disrupted their plans. Therefore, limited government surveillance is essential to protect innocent lives. Legal oversight and regulation are also one of the reasons that governments primarily take into consideration. In democratic countries, such access is often regulated by laws and oversight bodies, such as courts and privacy commissions. This ensures checks and balances while still allowing intelligence agencies to function effectively. However, this balance between security and privacy is crucial for maintaining public trust and upholding democratic values. Another reason is that people's data is already shared with corporations. Citizens already voluntarily share massive amounts of personal data with tech companies for convenience. If companies have this access for profit, it's not unreasonable for governments to access similar data to ensure public safety. Moreover, the growing prevalence of data breaches and misuse by private entities underscores the need for government oversight to ensure public safety and to protect citizens' rights and to ensure responsible data handling. Lastly, it's a trade-off for safety. Sometimes living in a safe society means sacrificing a bit of privacy for the greater good. But if accessing private data helps prevent mass shootings or bombings, many would agree it's a necessary compromise. History has shown us that through early detection, through surveillance, it can help stop coordinated attacks before they occur. Privacy is important, but it shouldn't outweigh the collective rights to security. With proper legal oversight and regulations, this trade-off can be both effective and ethically managed.
So the first 2 speakers in this team stressed the idea of the importance of protection over privacy, right? This is what you're basically arguing for the same point, okay? So try to prepare more rational, maybe like more, these 2 things are rational, they are called logical appeals. Try to prepare something maybe emotional, something ethical appeal, you know, ethos, pathos, logos, type. Yes, my lady, you might say.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear judges and opponents, my name is Zahra Asi and I will be presenting my argument on the stance why governments shouldn't have access to our private data in the name of national security. First of all, let's get one thing straight. The other team says that giving governments access to our private data prevents terrorism. But are you sure about that? Then go ahead. Explain 9/11. Explain the Boston Marathon bombing. Explain what took place in Paris, Brussels, and London, all of which happened when mass surveillance programs were already put in place. And it gets even worse. A 2014 US government report reviewed America's largest surveillance program, the one that collected millions of photos, videos, texts, phone calls, emails from millions of innocent people. Their conclusion? It didn't prevent a single terrorist attack. Not one. So please, let's stop pretending this is about security. You call it safety, I call it control, because what you're defending isn't national security. It's a blind overreach, a desperate attempt to look powerful while being completely ineffective. You collect everything, invade everyone's lives, and still fail to stop the very threats you claim to be preventing. That doesn't seem like protection to me. It seems like manipulation disguised as defense. And now let's be real. Terrorists don't plan attacks on Instagram DMs. They adapt, they evolve. Meanwhile, governments are busy spying on their own citizens, arresting journalists, and weaponizing information against dissent. Now, let's get one thing clear. The minute you trade privacy for the illusion of safety is the minute you lose both. There is no democracy without privacy. There is no freedom when every word, every move, and every thought is monitored just in case. Yet, that case never seems to show up. So why are they still watching? I leave the answer to you. Now here's the truth. Mass surveillance have been put in place for years, yet we still see attacks happening. So if we couldn't stop them then, why would we believe that it'll suddenly work now? The truth is, it has always been about control. That has been failing us all along. In fact, studies from Stanford University and the New America Foundation confirm traditional investigation work and not mass surveillance had been responsible for nearly all foiled plots. So why are they still watching? And wait, do you really think a government that let its own people starve, that let its truth die, and let its land rot would suddenly become the guardian of your privacy? Think again. Because this isn't paranoia. This is history repeating itself. And if we remain silent, it'll shape our future. So no, I don't fear terrorism as much as I fear a government that watches everyone, helps no one, and dares to call it protection. And if you think that giving up your freedom buys you safety, just wait. One day, you'll have neither. Thank you for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nabil Shaib, and I am here today to bring this case to its undeniable, unquestionable, and to its absolute resolution. Government access to private data isn't about stripping away rights. It's about securing lives. When it is properly regulated with laws, with a strong oversight and accountability, it becomes a tool not of control, but of protection. Look, now we have already given our data to corporations every day, willingly for convenience, for entertainment, or even ads. So, if profit-driven companies can know more about us than our own families, then it is only logical that a democratically regulated government can access to what it needs, not to sell it, but to save lives. Let me make this one thing perfectly clear to you guys. This isn't a choice between privacy and oppression. It's a trade between chaos and security, between watching danger or being its next victim. They talked about privacy like it's a sacred wall, but they ignored what it's crawling behind it. They told you surveillance is dangerous, but they failed to show you what happens when we have none. They claimed government access means total control, but they actually forgot that government stops attacks and disrupts threats. And you, lady over there, you call control like it's some villain in the dark. But the real villain when there is no control, no intel, no survival, and no system. And when that happens, it won't be your rights on the line, it will be your life. So you know what the problem is? Too many people up here are scared to say what's need to be said. They sugarcoat it, they dress it up nice, hoping the audience to clap. But audience, look at me. I'm not here to win points. I'm not here to be nice. I'm here to save you. I'm here for the truth. And the truth is, if we don't let the right people access the right data at the right time, people dies. It's that real. It's that simple. You keep worrying about being watched, start worrying about being wiped out. Start worrying about waking up to a world that's already broken because we were too busy protecting comfort instead of protecting lives. This debate. Yes, I'm not done here. This debate isn't about control, it's about survival. We aren't in a battle of ideas, we are in a countdown, and every single second wasted here playing polite is another second to blood on the floor. You want peace, you better earn it with teeth, because the people that are coming for you don't care about your privacy, they care about your weakness. So you can stay afraid, stay blind, but don't you ever dare act surprised when it all falls apart. And when it does, don't look for the loudest voice in the room. Look for the person who told you the truth from day one. And that's exactly why I'm standing here, saying this loud. Let the government have the access. Because if they can see the threat coming, we will all be too late to regret it. Debate closed. Future secured. You're welcome.
برافو شعيب, good job يعني. تنشوف مريم. No, let's. We're going to be listening to Ms. Mariam, but this is exactly what I was asking for. It's like he used the technique of counter-argument and refutation. He mentioned all their points and refuted them. Exactly the same thing the last speaker should do in each team. عرفتوا شو? Arguments, pro-arguments, counter-arguments, and then we have the final refutation. تفضل Ms. Mariam, the time is yours.
Good morning, everyone. I am Mariam Tarhini, and today I'm standing here in front of you just to make you aware of the illusion of safety they are talking about. Imagine living in a world where every step you take, every word you whisper, and every thought you ponder is tracked, not by choice, but by design. A world where silence isn't privacy but suspicion, and where questioning authority makes you a target instead of a thinker. They claim it's safety, but what you're giving up is your voice, your freedom, your dignity. This isn't hypothetical, it's really happening. In North Korea, every aspect of a person's existence is being monitored. This oversight of citizens has extended beyond wired microphones, indoors and even outdoors, just to pick up conversations. Also, citizens are not allowed to watch any movie or any series, only government programs. Why? To protect the nation from incoming ideas. And if anyone was caught accessing internet like any normal person, he or she will be tortured. Now please tell me, when torturing, putting in jail, or even killing is done for national security? Really ridiculous. Wait, why go really far? And this is happening here in Lebanon. When in July 2018, a cybersecurity breach occurred when Krypton Security infiltrated several public institutions, like the Civil Status Directorate, where sensitive citizen records were accessed, and official websites of the Ministry of Economy and the Ministry of Interior that were breached. In addition to 3 important cases, now please tell me, would you give your data to a government that is not able to protect its own websites and information? And what is even worse is that AI decides who's a threat, not based on actions, but predictions. You're flagged by an algorithm judged by a machine. They say it's only some data, but some always becomes more. This is not security, it's submission. And no nation can claim to protect its people while violating the very rights it's meant to uphold. So just ask yourself, Are silence and surveillance really the price you're willing to pay for an illusion of safety? Thank you.
Because of the shortage in time, we're not going to do the whole cross-examination. We're going to allow each team, just for the purpose of demonstrating, we're going to allow each team 1 question and 1 minute to answer. You are allowed, come in, 1 question to them and 1 minute to answer. Go ahead with your question.
Hello? Oh, okay. Okay, so my question is, if a government like Lebanon, which fails to protect its own borders and citizens, what makes you think that it's capable or even trustworthy enough to safeguard our most sensitive data?
1 minute.
Look, that's a fair concern, and that's why we demand regulations, not restrictions. Every tool ever invented, from nuclear energy to the internet, can be misused. But we didn't ban the electricity because someone got shocked. We manage it, we monitor it, and we make it safe. Denying the government as a critical tool just because it can be misused is like refusing to carry a fire extinguisher because someone might hit you, which is going to be ironic. No, we don't dismantle the system. We make it accountable. Because fear of abuse is valid, but fear of inaction is fatal. And if you want some, just come and get some.
Thank you, Shaib. Bravo. Good refutation. Now you have your own turn. You can waiver it if you don't have any questions. No,
Do I see it?
we need to give time to the main event, which is the debate between the teams. Yes, you have a question?
Okay.
Try to focus with them or to answer.
If we trust banks with our money and hospitals with our bodies, why is it trusting a democratic and managed, be careful, democratic and managed government with regulated data such as threats?
Did you get the question? Repeat it, Badruddin.
If we trust banks with our money and hospitals with our body, why is it trusting a democratic and managed government with regulated data such as threats or such a burden?
Yani the governments are collecting data one way or another, even through civilian, like civilian institutes like hospitals. They gather all your data. Okay.
Okay, but you're comparing hospitals and banks to a government. Well, let's talk about 9/11, for example. Wait, banks and hospitals actually do their jobs correctly. But in 9/11, what happened is when the hijackers, when the American government actually had all the data of the hijackers that were going to attack them, they actually had it, but why did it still happen? Is because of the government's misuse. Governments can fail to act when they even have the data. So what are they using it for? If they couldn't use it for helping people, what are they using for? That is my question for you. So you're comparing two different things. Like you can't compare a government that misuses its data to hospitals and banks that are actually using them.
Okay, great. Thank you for both teams. If we keep going, we're not going to be ending anytime soon before noon, يعني صراحة, if we keep going. You were amazing. You were amazing. You had a point. Both of you, I'm even distorted between choosing one side. صراحة, you both made a point, one way or another. Thank you very much. You are excused. يلا تفضل مسيو. منزيح. طيب, we're gonna have a sketch. هلا يلا.
Well done to our grade 10, 11 students for a powerful and thought-provoking debate. Let's give them one more big round of applause. Before we move on to the next round, featuring the grade 12 students from Ajyal High School and Smart College, we will take a short 10-minute break. But this isn't just any break. we invite you to enjoy a creative sketch performed by grade 8 students titled The Time Machine. So sit back, relax, and let your imagination travel through time.
Technology is all around us. It connects us, helps us, entertains us, and even saves lives. But with great power comes great responsibility. As technology becomes more advanced, through artificial intelligence, scientific discoveries, and powerful machines, we must ask an important question. Are we still in control? In this sketch, The Time-Traveling Scientist, Who's Really in Control? We explore how scientists from the past, present, and future view the power of technology. Through their eyes, we can see that while technology brings progress, it can also bring danger if not used wisely.
Finally, my time machine is complete. I can get the greatest scientists from history right here to learn from them.
What in the name of gravity is this madness?
Welcome, Sir Isaac Newton. You're in the future.
The future? Impossible. The laws of time prevent.
What is this place? Was I just in my laboratory?
Another traveler? Who are you?
Marie Curie, scientist. I study radioactivity.
That looks dangerous.
It is. Radiation is both useful and harmful. We use it in medicine, but if we don't control it properly, it can cause a great harm.
E equals mc squared. This equation will change the world.
Another scientist? What is this sorcery?
Not sorcery, science. My theory of relativity explains space and time in ways you've never imagined.
You mean that time isn't absolute?
Exactly, and mass and energy are connected. This led to the discovery of nuclear power. And unfortunately, nuclear weapons.
That's exactly the problem of science. Our discoveries can be used for both good and bad.
I never wanted my discoveries to be used for war, but once an invention exists, you cannot control how others use it.
Maybe bringing people from the past isn't the best idea. But wait, what about the future? Maybe they figured out how to use science wisely.
Greetings, ancient scientists. I come from the year 2200.
2200? Has science advanced beyond our wildest dreams?
Yes, we have artificial intelligence, self-repairing robots, and even machines that think for themselves. That sounds amazing. It is, but it also comes with great risks.
What do you mean?
Our technology became so advanced that people began relying on machines for everything. Thinking, decision-making, and even creating new inventions. So some people stopped questioning and stopped thinking critically.
You mean that the inventions started controlling the inventors?
Exactly. Instead of using technology wisely, people let it decide for them. That's why history is so important, and we should always remember that we must control technology, not the other way around.
Uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't be using this thing so recklessly.
It's not about avoiding technology, it's about using it responsibly.
Science gives us power, but wisdom tells us how to use it.
A wise person once said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." But what happens if the giants forget to look where they are looking?
Exactly. We must guide technology by human wisdom, or we risk losing control of it.
That settles it. I'm shutting down the time machine.
And so, the greatest minds of history have come together to teach one important lesson. Science and technology are powerful tools, but it's up to humans to use them wisely. Scientific discoveries and technological advancements must be guided by human responsibility. Science can be used for great good or great harm, and it's up to people, not machines, to make ethical choices.
Thank you to our amazing performers for that entertaining break. Now that we're ready to dive into the second part of today's competition, this round brings together students from Ajyal High School and Smart College to debate a topic that's especially relevant in today's digital world. Is being a social media influencer an honest profession, or does it exploit personal branding for profit without true value? Ajyal High School's team, which includes Leen Faris, Mariana Awala, and Lissandra Salman, will be arguing against the topic, while Smart College's team, which includes Rayan Jaber, Zainab Jahami, and Karina Yunus, be arguing in favor of it. Let's welcome both teams and wish them a strong and inspiring debate.
Can I not use the microphone?
You can do whatever you want.
Can I just start with how happy we are to be here? Thank you for our hosts, thank you for the debaters. Ladies and gentlemen, creators and dreamers, today we stand at the crossroads of humanity and technology. We're more connected than ever before, and in this connection lies an extraordinary opportunity, the power of influence. Being an influencer is more than just likes, followers, and brand deals. It's about shaping perspectives, opening minds, and inspiring others to become the best version of themselves. So a question arises, is being an influencer an honest profession? Let's start with the definition of a profession. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a profession is a paid occupation that requires prolonged training and formal qualifications. Anyone can be famous, but not anyone can become an influencer because it requires creativity, discipline, hard work, and lots of dedication, just like any other profession. And because of that, statistically speaking, only 30% of influencers are able to make a substantial amount of money because it requires, success largely depends on audience trust, product quality, and effective marketing skills that not everyone can achieve. In the 21st century, professions are evolving. Some are transforming, some are disappearing, and it's safe to say that the word influencer has long integrated into our day-to-day lives. Evolution. Let's talk about evolution. Millie Bobby Brown. I think everyone in here knows who that is, especially the young girls. She's a child actor, a famous child actor from Stranger Things, and a UNICEF ambassador who owns 62 pets. It's hard to imagine. And in the past year, she saved up to 230 dogs using her microchip. Some might say that this is an interesting marketing skill, a marketing strategy. And I might agree, but isn't it also a great way to encourage others to do good, to save animals? Evolution made it possible for a 21-year-old to achieve so much, to become an advocate for change. Now let's talk about honesty. What is honest work? It is the work of any individual whose ethical and moral impact on society is positive. In our traditional understanding, an honest profession is anything that revolves around doctors, engineers, architects, journalists, philosophers, teachers, etc. But it is also changing. Our world is changing. It's becoming digital, it's becoming technological, and our mindset should change too. The matter of honesty can be subjected to any one of these professions because it's about morals, it's about ethics, and not about qualifications. Is a marketer not using an honest profession? Is a PR manager not an honest profession? Is an actor not an honest profession? Influencers can be more than marketers. They can be mentors, storytellers, and advocates of change. When you show your audience your real, honest you don't lose value, you gain loyalty. And that is my definition of an honest profession. Thank you.
Thank you for establishing your point using different perspectives. And you talked about morals and ethics, and you talked about logical or rational ideas as well. And you were able to exemplify through real life figures like the one you've mentioned. Thank you very much. It was very well prepared and very well said. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lean Faris. I'm here to oppose against the idea that being an influencer counts as an honest profession or not. So, first of all, you've stated connectivity. evolution, and the definition of an honest profession. Thank you so much, big respect. But I'd like to stop you there, okay? Let's be honest, okay? Let's be real. You know these overused statements over social media where they say, embrace who you are, or we won't judge you for being you. You know, they typically use for motivation. But on social media, it turns out to be filter your face, stage your breakfast, or pretend you just woke out of bed looking perfect. Who wakes out of bed looking good? I do, says no one ever. But before we dig any more deeper, let's define what's an honest profession. This is the main point of our debate, right? What's an honest profession? According to a very trusted and verified source, which is the Cambridge Dictionary, all heard of it, it's a line of work that is sincere, fair, and morally acceptable. When you think of this definition, your mind just drifts to engineers, teachers, welcome everybody, and doctors who provide value and serve transparency into the society, right? Now, compare that category to people who share skincare products they don't even use, or they call paid ads just sharing what I love, or they promote their good days, leaving alone their bad ones, right? So, is that morally acceptable? Is that honest? If you still think so, no problem. We're here for that reason. Our team, we're going to provide 4 points to reach a very concise conclusion and for your statements. First of all, let's start with the biggest of them all. And more like a fun fact, according to FTC, influencers are legally required to state when a product is paid for. That's the law. But you know these tiny hashtags they use at the bottom of their video where they say hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored, and they bury it between like 40 different emojis and 10 different fonts just to hide the fact that it's paid for? Or I'm obsessed. Like, no, you're not obsessed. You're just paid to say that. Taking it from their point of view, if you're an influencer, let's say, and you go up and say, hey, I'm paid to say that. No, you're not going to say that, right? Dishonesty is a tool in influencing. Dishonesty is a tool to promote your product. That's it. That's the point. Second point, which is important, very, oversharing, like blogging, vlogging, you know these terms. I count them as oversharing. You know, when you go up and post your daily routine every single day, repeating the same actions, you're not just putting your family's lives at risk, your surroundings' lives at risk, you're promoting for a young audience that it's very normal to be exposed to social media 24/7. Is it normal? That's the question. Is it normal to be exposed 24/7 to social media? Never is. Third point might seem kind of cliche or boring, but luxurious lifestyles. You know these marketing tools used by influencers when they say, you must have the product, like these terms they use on TikTok nowadays, when it's like $100 face serum. Why is it a must-have? It's not. It's something secondary that could be bought if you had extra money. Why are we promoting for a young audience that it's very normal to buy something luxurious when more than 60% of your audience are struggling financially to stabilize themselves? Fourth point, kind of talked about most, but it's kind of slept on at the same time. Don't ask me how, but we're going to talk about it. It's pushing morals and values, especially in Arab societies. They're pushing morals and values and putting them in a cabinet, okay? Ask the same person a question 5 years ago and ask them the same question now, and just see how their point of view have changed. And they're going to say it has changed because of social media. Do they care? Not really. Do we care? No, not really. But that's the whole point of the debate, right? Kind of controversial. So, or for young females, teenagers, right? They push these beauty standards that are obnoxious. You have to have this certain type of nose, or you have this certain type of shaped body, right? They do that. What's only reachable with cosmetic surgery. Is that honesty? Let me ask, is that honesty? Is that morally acceptable? Is that fair? Does any of what I said align with the definition I gave at the beginning of the debate? Or is it more like, hey, this is my morning routine, totally authentic, except it's scripted, totally not sponsored, except it is, and totally for you, except it's actually for the paycheck. If that's what we're calling an honest profession, well, I should probably start faking skincare reviews as well. Thank you so much.
Well, I have to say that this is the most detailed description of an honest profession I've ever. No known of, and it's evidence-based, very nice. The mentioning the definition from Oxford Dictionary, and I have to check this in detail, the disclosure of material connections. Okay, bravo. It's very, very normal in debates to provide solid-based evidence that back up your argument, especially if it was a logical argument depending on logos, you know. Now with the second lady, please go ahead.
Good morning, honorable judges and fellow debaters. I'm Zainab. If I were to ask you to define what a profession is, you might define it as a career that takes years of education, certifications, qualifications, degrees, and while that may be true if you're looking at it from a more traditional point of view, nowadays social media has completely redefined what a profession can look like. People can now build their own brands, monetize their creativity, and connect directly with global audiences, all without needing validation or permission from an institution. In a world that equates academic achievement with potential, social media instead values and even rewards innovation, initiative, and creativity. Think of social media as a type of entrepreneurship. Many entrepreneurs, when starting their businesses, have no formal education, no formal degrees. Their success instead relies on their creativity, risk-taking, and the management skills that they build throughout their experience. Also, let's not forget that education isn't this universal right that we're all promised because we're lucky enough to have it. But it's a privilege that not everyone can afford or access. There are countless individuals out there who are talented and ambitious, but they're unable to pursue higher education. So what happens to them? Do we just forget about them? Do we leave them behind? Do they not deserve a second chance as well? So in a world where practically every door has been slammed shut in their face, social media provides them with an alternative path where they can build their own platform, voice, income, and whatever they may desire. The story of Mark Zuckerberg perfectly illustrates how education isn't necessarily everything to reach goals in your life. You may have heard his name. He's a multi-billionaire, making him the second richest person on the planet. So how did he get so successful? Well, in his sophomore year, he dropped out of Harvard, which is an incredibly prestigious university, to work on Facebook. Now, this was an incredibly and risky and unconventional decision, but he managed to make it work, and it massively paid off, with Facebook becoming one of the most influential social media platforms in the world. So his story demonstrates how ideas and creativity can make you reach your goals. So in essence, we must recognize that the path to professionalism isn't determined by what's written on one's diploma, but rather by their ability to inspire, inform, or entertain. Thank you.
Good morning, honorable judges, fellow debaters, audience. I'm Marianne. I'm going to be uncovering the truth about the glamour of influencer by refuting your point. First of all, I would like to say that you were completely off point. You were only mentioning educational purposes. And I would like to say something, that brands have always been there, with or without influencing. Brands have always been successful. Many clothing brands, everything was still out there before even influencing became a thing. And I would also like to note that you specifically were so specific on the point of education. Education, well, let me tell you something. During this war Everyone knows the truth about Gaza, but everyone that was posting about it was banned. Their account got hacked, their account got deleted, and that just exploits education and just explodes the point and just like spreads what they want you to know, what they want you to know. And you also mentioned the Millie Bobby Brown. But in 2019, that microchip you talked about, she got scammed by a small business in 2019. You clearly didn't do your research well. Yeah, but she got scammed. But before that, she got scammed by that microchip.
Why would she be created if she didn't go into something before?
No, you're not taking it. That's not make your point and let's move on. This is not
So to begin with, your ideas are plausible to a certain extent. I will refute them. So, and I'm going to say the requirements of a profession, which is professionalism, honesty, transparency, and morals, morally acceptable, to be morally acceptable. So I'm going to mention 3 different examples. The first is Kim Kardashian. And the title of this example would be Widespread Disclosure Failures, okay? So what she did was, according to FTC, like the papers we handed out, it's legally required to mention that it's an ad before doing the ad. So what she did was she posted a cryptocurrency ad without stating that it's an ad. And what her consequences was she was still facing lawsuits till this day, and she paid a fine of $1.26 million to pay up for what she did. Also, I would like to mention Nina Dobrev. Of course, you know her. A Vampire Diaries star, the person who played 3 different characters in the same show, but just by one glance, everyone would know who we're talking about. So what she did was she also posted an ad about vitamin gummy bears, basically the vitamins on the shape of a gummy bear. She did not state an ad, but according to FTC, back then, their main concern was educating influencers rather than punishing them. So all they did was just make her edit her post saying it's an ad. However, she just gets away with everything, honestly, even in real life, in the show and in real life. But I guess they have a point. Promoting vitamin gummy bears is way much more innocent than a high-risk crypto scheme. I would also like to move on to my second point, which is security and privacy threats. You all know Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber's ex, the singer, the CEO of Rare Beauty. Her account got hacked in 2017. Followers were exposed, she was exposed, private chats were exposed. Every single thing, every single photo where they were all exposed, and she got humiliated, and she humiliated her followers with her. And that's not honest, is it? And moving on to my third and last point, which is out-of-touch promotion. Kendall Jenner, the cover of Vogue, the Victoria's Secret angel, the one who has over 1 million followers. She posted an ad collaborating with Pepsi, where she joins a fake protest, Black Lives Matter. Back then, they were a thing. They were in action. She posted an ad where she joins the fake protest and hands out Pepsi cans to everyone, and suddenly everyone is happy. Suddenly everything is good. So people found it very discriminating for the protests, and they thought that she was just. So those influencers that shine, they smile, but behind all those filters are lawsuits, lies, and manipulation.
Hello everyone, my name is Ren Jaber and I'll be speaking on behalf of Smart College. Hello my fellow debater. I have a couple of things I want to say to you. Now, I want to start. Now for you to say that being an influencer is allowed, being an influencer is an unhonest profession, despite it contributing so much economically. You just don't understand how it was capable of saving countless restaurants, unknown brands, businesses, family businesses. Influencers showcase the potential that they held. They showcase the hard work that they had to go through, allowing them to gain the fame that they deserve. Now, let's talk economically. I've noticed all of us superintendent over here, of course, use an online platform that is suited to their liking, and I'm one of you guys. And I've noticed being an influencer is limitless to any age group, gender, religion, race, of course, and a good majority of them is disabled. Now, I want to highlight, of course, that the employment gap between disabled people and undisabled people have always been massive, and barely any efforts have been done to narrow it down. One aspect of this economy, let's take China, for example, the estimated percentage of disabled people is around 6.3%. That's 83 million people. Zainab.
A very big amount.
Okay. And only 30 to 40% is only employed. Now, social media has given them a voice. They emerge as powerful influencer advocates. They're looking for change. They're clearing misconceptions. They're sharing experiences. So in recent years, those influencers are not shaping industries from beauty and fashion, but to healthcare and technology. They're not just shaping their future, but ours too. Now, I have a couple of people, of course. Lauren Lolo Spencer. She's a California-based advocate who's very well known. She's an influencer and actress. She's very well known for raising awareness about representation, being a black woman herself, and disability rights. Now, at just 14 years old, she was diagnosed with ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. It's a nervous system disease that weakens the muscle. Now, what I wanted to say that she started her journey of social media on YouTube just at 14 called Sitting Pretty Lolo. Now where she started sharing her experiences. And this game or community that she has built and gained the fame that she did, she was capable of gaining both roles in films. For example, her recent one is Give Me Liberty, as well as brand partnership where she was showcasing accessible clothing range for both disabled and able. Of course. So, and I want to say something to you. You were saying that people are paying money to promote, getting paid to promote bad products. But you can't really speak about the whole world. Not everyone is doing that. And for you, who's talking about Selena Gomez, what does personal information has to do with brand exploiting? I don't understand. That was off topic. Now, I also want to add...
It's not honest. A job requires security, and it's not secure to
We're
just
talking
have
about
your account just exposed.
You want to say something before I start? Okay. Now I want to reply to you. Of course, you're saying that she lost her personal information by being hacked on social media. We are over here talking about influencers.
You said something about No, I'm not talking about that. You said we went off topic, but you said that we went off topic, right?
Yeah.
But from the start of the debate, you are always off topic.
How
We're
was
talking
it?
about honest profession. You're saying you define what a profession is. We're not arguing if it's a profession or not. Personally, I don't even believe it's a profession, but I'm saying
speaking because
we're talking about honest profession. We're talking about honest profession. We didn't go off topic. If anything, you went off topic.
I did not go off topic, but...
No,
Yeah.
you should not have introduced that.
I don't have time, yeah.
Yes. You might continue, please. Okay, you're going to have your time to ask questions and just listen to my point carefully, all of
should
you.
not have
No, I
interrupted her,
told
thank
you
you.
not to attack the person. Okay? Don't
being
attack.
the third person to come up to debate, I was trying to refute to every point that they illustrated only.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, you can carry on. Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, we understand that being an influencer aren't just people who build communities. I will explain why I was talking about disabled people, but they're also building job opportunities. Because they not only just get, oh my God, what's happening? Okay. So being an influencer did not just open doors for job opportunities, but also promoting. Doesn't always have to be paid. For example, the renowned singer Zendaya, for example, she got hooked to a brand that makes clothes from recycled material. And she got really hooked into it, and she started feeling something. She was like, I need to promote this to my fans. She did not get paid money at all, and just overnight it turned into a viral sensation. Is influencer not improving businesses? And I want to say, of course, I don't have much time, to lastly say, it's kind of heartless to say that we need to get rid of influence or social media. It's leading us into our own path, yet it built so many good ones. Thank you.
You see, honorable judges, it's Lisandra. I'm going to refute her idea firstly. You stated that many influencers promote causes of education, right? That you stated that. That's true. That's true. But those are exceptions. Those are exceptions. It's not the whole community that promote education causes. The majority of the content prioritizes personal profit over social impact. So you see, while influencing promotes or gives off that it's for value, it promotes profession, it promotes the paycheck over authenticity. Much of the content is carefully curated and sponsored, blurring the line between genuine recommendations and paid promotions. So influencers blur the line between genuine advice and paid promotions, turning personal brandings or personal lives into public content. So is that really honest or true? So when I share my kids' photos and my kids' lifestyles, I'm not going to do it to uplift, or I'm not going to do it because I'm being honest, I'm sharing my families, but I'm going to do it to sell. And that's all, unlike the actual careers that produce tangible goods and essential services. So influencing often depends on popularity, curated lifestyles. What else? Values? Stop me for that. Algorithms reward visibility, not integrity. Influencing in this context is not necessarily, it's not necessarily based on skill, knowledge, expertise, but through image, timing, and reach. At its core, this is less about work and more about honest professions. It's less about work and more about strategic performance. And if a profession depends on illusion rather than substance, can we really call it valuable or even honest? Can you?
Look, it seems that each team is like getting a bit hard on accepting the other point of view, which is good. It makes the debate more authentic, by the way. What we're going to do right now, okay, in order to give you some more time and drop these papers all away and just focus on the ideas and what the other people are saying, okay, and not attack the person. We just try to prove that the idea is right or wrong in our perspective by logos, logic, ethos, trying to think of ethics and morals, and what? What else other than logos? Logos, ethos, pathos, like trying to play on emotions sometimes. Yeah, this is what some of you were very successful in doing, trying on, for example, you played on emotion by saying that some people might live homeless or without a job by using, but instead they have the opportunity to become influencers and make a positive fingerprint and maybe lead a successful life. This is pathos because somewhat it's targeting the passions or the feelings of the audience. And you played as well more on logos and trying to prove that things are more logical. We were logical. But
they were depending on emotions.
Yeah, but sometimes logos or being logical is not enough by itself unless we are living in a purely pragmatic planet, which is not the case, right? And you know better. I know you in person. You know better. Not everything is about logic. Sometimes it's about morals and ethics as well. So what we're going to do, as I said, we're going to try to have some cross-examination, if Ms. Ryan allows us to, because we are learning, right? It's a learning journey. You're doing great, both of you. You're going to have 3 questions? 2 questions.
Okay, I would
2 questions, not simultaneous. You ask your question, you get 1 minute to reply, and then you ask your question, you get 1 minute. Repeat this. Okay, yeah. You want to start? Who want to start? Okay, you may start by asking the other team if they are ready to listen to your question. يعني out of respect, ننطر نعطي وقت, that's it.
So from the examples I stated, I'm going to lead with that. If it is really a profession, then why did they defy every single requirement of a credible job? Transparency, integrity, professionalism. They all define that. Kim Kardashian, whether it's Nina, whether it's Kendall, whether it's Selena Gomez. So go ahead, answer away.
We're ready. With all due respect, we try to be diplomatic. We're not attacking. Most certainly, I understand your examples, but you do notice that you're generalizing, just as you said, exceptions. These are also exceptions. You talked about Nina Dobrev. Everyone makes mistakes. The fact that she put a gummy bear is not something to put her in prison for. You do understand that. You said about Kim Kardashian that she was positioned in lawsuits. So the government did do something against what she did. And you said that influencers don't say that they're sponsoring. They do. They're obliged to. This is legally needed to pronounce the fact that they're doing an advertisement. It's illegal not to. And if they're not, you did say that she changed the advertisement about gummy bears. And when you talked about Gaza, this matter is very important to me. Myself, I am from Russia, and the war in Ukraine, and the misconceptions and the informative war that's happening today. I understand your viewpoint. I truly do, and I agree with it, but this is not a matter of influence and marketing. It's a matter of who's standing behind this app. It's a matter of politics. This is off topic, but not in any disrespect.
Great answer, صراحة. Great answer. When I say to a team, it's a great answer, it doesn't mean, يعني I'm saying to the other team, يعني their question was not great as well. You know what I mean? But every question has or should have an answer one way or another. Yeah, you want to start your
I just
question?
want to say something. I only mentioned Gaza because you mentioned that it's about education. You also went off topic by saying that it's education.
Excuse me. You have your question right now.
Isn't the work social media influencers do the same as marketers? Does that mean that marketing isn't a genuine profession either?
It's not credible, it's not professional.
Yes. Good question.
So there's something called digital marketing, right? There's marketing and there's digital marketing. We are not talking about digital marketing. We're talking about being an influencer. You're going off topic. You've been going off topic since the start. I'm talking about being an influencer, how they are using it as a marketing tool. You can't use influencing as a marketing tool. You're saying digital marketing. What does digital marketing have to do with our topic? Seriously, I'm seriously not understanding
I'm
your
going to
point.
ask you a question myself here. How do you define an influencer, or is there a good or positive definition for an influencer?
It's in the name. It's in the name.
And do we have bad influencers and good influencers?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
It depends on what?
It depends. The values they give, I guess.
I don't think it depends on the audience. So if
No. Wait.
no, if I'm presenting my material, أعطي مثال مثلا. I'm presenting my own material on social media, as you know, on educational topic,
Yeah.
okay? I don't consider myself as an influencer, by the way. I'm considering myself as a content creator that is related to education. That بلكي my audience got what they want to understand out of it, okay? This is not my intention, but they understood whatever. Can I control my audience,
Of course
Marianne?
not. No, we're not talking about
Okay,
that.
exactly. We're not talking about audience.
About that. No.
Marianne, this should be clear. We're not talking about audience themselves. We're talking about either the person, the content, the branding. We're talking about the branding, the professional branding. Okay. Go ahead.
Your question is about digital marketing.
Can you
question?
rephrase your question, please? Yes.
So we're saying that influencers who do marketing digitally, does that mean and you're calling that they're unprofessional, an honest profession. So does that mean?
Plus, an influencer is, as you said, it's a name, and inside it there are many categories. They are marketers, they are storytellers, and as I have said, they're advocators.
Sure, dishonest marketers, yeah, sure.
Yes, this is a matter of honesty. You do understand that a doctor can be dishonest. He can lie to his patient and say, oh, you need this surgery because your nose is ugly. He's also lying, and he's also dishonest, and this is also about ethics. Every person should represent his profession the way he sees it fit. And if a doctor does it, is it his profession being wrong or is it him being unprofessional?
First of all, a doctor, can lie, but
calm down.
What's the percentage that a doctor would do that than an influencer would do that? What's easier?
It's the same.
It's the same?
Yes.
How is it the same?
It's marketing. A doctor can market his job by saying that you need the surgery. Many people can
I can
do
give you
it.
an example. They think that there was something related to Dr. Saab or someone, like in the past. It was a huge scandal, yani, and everyone thought that person was a very trustworthy figure in Lebanon.
Exceptions.
These are exceptions.
Yeah, we're not talking, they're talking about a big percentage.
I'm not trying to take stance here. But they were coming answering you the same thing. She said that there are exceptions as well. In all professions, the same way we have exceptions in...
I stated that there would be doctors. I said, what's the percentage of that?
I think what you should argue on is a very tiny corner back there, which is the true value of what is being presented.
Can I say something?
You read this?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Can we just go back to our topic, which is an honest profession?
Yeah, honest profession is related to true value.
Okay, she's talking about digital marketing. She's talking about digital marketing. What does it have to do with an honest profession?
It's
Yes, but they're using honesty as a tool for marketing. They're using its honesty as a tool for marketing. You can't just say it's an honest profession. Sure, it is a profession. If you can make a job out of a hobby, you can make a job out of a hobby, but how they're using dishonesty as a tool. I stated in the first of the debate. They're using it. So
let's shift the focus to what we call profit without true value.
Okay.
Let's say. Do you think that influencers that we have online on all platforms, do you think they are presenting a true value or not, or do you think they are getting profit out of something that is not of a value?
They follow what's trending. They follow what's trending.
Yeah, they follow what's trending,
Yeah.
which you think is not ethical, right?
Of course.
Which then you are referring to have a dishonest profession. This is the link that you're trying to establish. I'm trying to link your appeals together and saying that if the majority in one profession like media influencing, if you want to say, which they don't consider a profession at all. This is the point.
That's what we're trying to say.
Yes, you're trying to prove it's a profession as well.
And they don't see it as a profession.
Yeah,
No,
they
of course
don't see
not.
it as a
We don't
profession.
know.
This is the debating point. And you think it's a job, هي شغل, هي عمل, anyone can pick it up. مثل example, ما بعرف مين influencers أنا بالمنطقة. عبد الله عقيل. مين؟ مثلا عبد الله عقيل, he promotes a restaurant, for example. Other times
He's a promoter then. He's a promoter.
yeah, he's a
then.
promoter.
Sure.
So do you think, let's make it more authentic.
Yeah.
Authentic discussion. Do you think Abdullah is an influencer who gets a profit with a true value or not?
No, of course not.
Why not? لحظة, let me, I'm asking. No, why not?
I don't know who
You
that
don't
is.
know him?
Unfortunately.
Know anyone within the Lebanese context? Influencers, Tarazan.
Not exactly.
You know
Can you
Lebanese.
just explain to me what he does? Because I'm not understanding that.
انتوا بتعرفوا, you're friends, you don't have, you can give it a chance. You can give the mic to one of your friends who knows, please. حتى أنا, you don't know Abdullah.
excuse me?
You have another.
I can explain who Abdullah is. Abdullah is an influencer. He's a content creator. He's a really famous one. He's funny. He goes around restaurants. He says, this restaurant's good, this restaurant's good. He says that. When we go try it out, it's never good. And he takes money off of it. So this is who Abdullah is, the influencer you're talking about who has a professional and a transparent job. The one who lies about restaurants and gets money out of it.
He influenced you to do it, you tried it, and you learned a lesson from
Wait,
that.
but he influenced me to do it to get paid.
Yes, he got paid.
Yeah, sure, we're talking about bad influencers and good influencers. You just stated that. You're going off topic again.
Can you give... No.
Girl,
just,
please chill.
Yeah, chill out. Give me another... Let's prove my point. I'm going to take sides, for example. I'm teaching you بالنهاية. Okay. If you want to prove to them that there are opposite examples to what they know. يعني فرضاً لساندرا بتعرف عبد الله.
Yes, this is an exception.
Yes, give us an authentic example from the Lebanese context. You have to. You cannot go. I can't go, for example, talk about the Russian-Ukrainian conflict without me knowing the context. Context اللي هو سياق أي topic بدنا نحكي فيه. I'm sorry, Rayan, I'm taking your... this is what we teach at university. Ana Rayan, Miss Rayan Bahsoun, she teaches English and education at the university level, and we teach our students the same thing.
This is great experience. I want to become a journalist myself.
Whenever they are giving you as about the all negative examples, supporting their point.
Give me one good example. Give me one good example of the Lebanese culture.
From the Lebanese context.
Yes.
You're subjecting it also to one country and one.
Give us an example for.
Anyone.
Give them an example from the Arab
culture
region.
Okay.
Listen, I'm أحكي.
Easy. There's this influencer. I don't know her name. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna try
but
to
she
figure.
influenced me into buying a perfume.
Okay.
And I love it, and I wouldn't have bought it if I hadn't seen it on social media.
Okay.
And this is a trend. Maybe you know it, the Yara perfume. I fell in love with the smell. It's good. It's a good cost.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have bought it, and I wouldn't have known that there are such
Great.
good products.
Their point was out of the all, which were they weren't trying to make it really well. What if the same influencer who influenced you to buy that good perfume influenced you again to buy something that was not good, or to buy or influenced others to buy something that was
So he tried it. He didn't like it.
maybe
but he's
a
lying
medicine,
to you.
maybe a facial cream, for example, that destroyed me, my face, your face, other faces.
So you're
How would
saying-
you argue against this point?
Okay, you're saying this person used this product, he didn't like it, and then he resumes to do an advertisement on this product and lies on social media saying it's good.
I'm saying that she was good in the first time.
The second time she lied.
She was manipulated in the second time. How would you protect the customers? How do you protect yourself? This is the
That's why there are other influencers who try these products and tell them their feedback. There are YouTubers, there are Instagrammers, there are TikTokers, there are Telegram, if you know Telegram.
Okay, I'm gonna, in order not to stay here the whole day, because we need to wrap things up. Would you add anything? You have 1 minute to add.
I'm not going to add anything. I was just saying that influencers can also get influenced. That's why when you were talking about someone manipulating other, and we need someone to tell us the truth, an influencer can also say the truth about that product.
Very, very true, but this is not my point. Do you have anything to add to me?
To add to you?
Yes,
I'm
add
just
it
saying,
up.
I know,
It's the same
Yeah,
argument.
sure. There's good influencers, right? There's also bad influencers, but does the amount of bad influencers outweigh the amount of good influencers?
Okay, I'll give you an answer to this one. Look.
And be honest.
Yeah, I will. I will be honest. You know me, I'm very straightforward or direct. Right. In order to wrap this very nice conversation, I want to call it, it's not a very formal debate. It was like heck, a bit flowy.
No,
it was
fine,
very
it's
fun.
fine.
It was very
Thank
nice.
you. Okay, of course,
I'm
no hard
proud of you
feelings,
both,
no hard
Sarah.
feelings.
To wrap this topic up, Akid, the answer for right now, currently, more is about the all negative. I'm not going to say the bad. Negative influencing, not influencers. There's too much negative influencing. Okay, and we can see this in schools with the young generation. إنه ليش لابس هيك؟ ليه عم تعمل هيك؟ ليه عم تحكي هيك؟ Even cages يعني. Why your mother does not speak this way, your father does not speak this way. You come closer to the case and you will find that there's an influencer behind this. So the answer is, of course, too much. يعني, I want to introduce you to my idea. When I searched the internet, I surfed it very carefully to find, before I launched my educational podcast, I did not find not a single solid podcast in the Arab world that talks solely on education. The only one try.
You were the first to talk about it,
I
right?
believe so. This is my own belief because I searched all the podcasts, YouTube channels, etc. I did not find one solid. Look, about education. Education is one of the major sectors in the Arab world.
True.
In Lebanon, right? Yes, I understood that back then. So, I believe, to wrap the things up, the problem is actually in the users and the regulations. دايما regulations بالcountries are the major problem. يعني عندنا بلبنان هلا بتروحي ما بتلاقي regulation مثلا مين responsible of regulations بلبنان تعرفوا؟
Is there a regulation?
No, regulation like overseeing the production of the content. بلا في شيء اسمه الأمن العام. في دائرة بالأمن العام مسؤولة عن like exactly. They go monitor the books, but they don't monitor school books. Well, books you find in libraries, they are monitored by the general security in Lebanon. But they don't go monitor the content on the internet. بيطلع أي حدا بيحط الكونتنت اللي بده إياه. Yes, I know. So the problem is in regulations. Okay, if there are solid regulation in any country, it would be perfectly well. Of course, the examples you've given about North Korea and other countries, they are true because they are dictatorships. The previous, it applies the same. يعني بتشاينا شو في بتشاينا؟ بتعرفوا شو في بتشاينا؟
What's there?
About في China Great Firewall. يعني هلا انت بتروح على تشاينا بتليفونك اللي موجود هلا عليه فيسبوك واتساب وكذا ما فيك تستخدميهم. You can't use them because they have their own planet هونيك بعد شوي. So with the users, how do we solve these two problems? These two problems are solved by you electing the right people who would put the right regulations in place. You are So this is why we deserve what's happening in each and every single country, okay? Number two, we as educational institutes, universities, schools, general media, يعني التلفزيون وغيره, we need to raise awareness when it comes to influencers. لازم الولد الصغير يعرف انه this is a bad influencer, this is a good influencer.
Exactly. That's why we can't count it as an honest job yet, you know?
Yeah.
Like we wish for it to be an honest
Look,
job.
if this topic was not debatable and controversial, هالقد we would not have picked it up يعني. كنا قلنا لكم احكوا عن السكول كوستيم وكنتوا اثنيناتكم كنتوا ضد.
I got a great example of what you were saying in the beginning about the country allowing certain products to come into being allowed to being supported, promoted in Lebanon. For example, soaps or any detergents. They don't allow the pH to be more than 10, but they allow it to be less than 10, of course, for any amount. But here's the thing, it could become neutral and acid. They don't care. They don't check if it's actual good soap. This causes people to... Exactly. So they're not putting the...
دايما authorities they have something to play in the side something to play with a play.
About profit. About the profit, the
دايما because
conversation you were
there's a
saying.
hidden politics behind. ليش فات هيدا البرودكت؟ ليش هيدا الانفلونسر ممنوع حدا يحكي معه شيء؟ ليش هيدا السينجر ممنوع حدا يحكي معه شيء؟ في politics behind the scenes على طول which لا أنت ولا أنا we can understand. So we leave it sometimes to the audience to decide which info they grab or which info they take in. Our job is to raise your awareness through such activities. ما نحن إذا ما عملنا هيك activities in school, I want to tell you this is not the first time we do debate. I'm really proud of on behalf of Tariq and behalf of me from smart college. I'm very proud of both teams. انتو you never fail me وانتو كمان you will never fail your school again. بدي اقول I want you to re-perform this in your school صراحة. يعني take the other stand بس خلي الصبايا هن ياخدوا their position بالديبيت.
Okay, sure.
This is if you start thinking yes in both ways you would be successful, otherwise you wouldn't. Okay, clap for you. By the way لتعرفوا بيحضروكم دايما نحن عندنا كلتشر هون انه اللي بيحضروا الاكتيفيتيز هن بيكونوا from different classes not from the same level. يعني في عندنا حتى صبايا زغطورين هلا ورا كانوا قاعدين بيحضروكم the whole debate. صبايا from other صبايا شباب من other classes. Okay, from grade 10 and 11. يلا.
So who won?
This is not a competition يا مريان. Okay, both of you won. نحن اصلا يعني حاطين كنا even نحن بدنا نعملها neutral لأنه this is our first participation with smart when it comes to debate. نحن حتى كانت مس إيمان بدها تعطي مثلا the best speaker, the best refuter, the best كذا. أنا قلت لها even هيدي بلاها. You were all you did great job. Okay. كل حدا بطريقته، كل حدا بحضوره، كل حدا بالطريقة اللي قال فيها. عم تعرفوا أنا ده بحب مشاركتكم يعني. I was taking some videos كمان. إيه. جريد 11 اللي كانوا 10 11 رؤى وزهراء ومريم. اوكي اي الصبايا والشباب. هلا انا ما بعرف ليش حاطين لي اياهم 3 شباب و3 صبايا. كنت بدي اسالكم ما بعرف انتوا اخترتوا تكونوا هيك؟ هيك بالصدفه يعني. اوكي وانا بحبش الهوموجينيوتي. اوكي سو كمان يو وير جريت. ما بدي اسميكم كلكم بس عن جد كل حدا من الشباب والصبايا اللي قدم كل حدا كان عنده هيك طريقه. شعيب خليتش بدر الدين يحكي بالمره انت. اوكي you were amazing. وعن جد you are gonna be great at university. صح ريان؟ عن جد يعني عن جد. لا لانه نحن هيدي الاشياء ما بنشوفها sometimes at university level. Great job both of you. وين الاموره الصغيره؟ اتفضل.
I'd just like to say well done to both grade 12 parties for that interesting and intense debate. What's it called? As we come to an end of today's debate competition, we would like to thank all of our participants, judges, and audience members for making this event a true celebration of critical thinking and expression. But before we conclude, we'll be hearing 3 short poems presented by students from grade 1, 2, and 5. So let's welcome them all with a warm round of applause.
انت وين كاين مخبى؟ اول مره بسمعك انا اصلا. الاسم اسمه you can introduce yourself, right? Little sweetheart. يلا.
Hello everyone. Guess what I brought with me today? Not a toy, not a treat. It's a big shiny smile just for you. It's a big pleasure to be here with you today. I'm Ajyal Ramal, grade 1G, and now I'll tell you what happens when you share a smile with someone. It comes right back to you even more. So I hope my smile reaches all of you today. Let's find out in my special poem, The Smile. I had an extra smile when I left the house today. I thought I'd give it to someone I passed along the way. I tried to give the smile away, but incredibly, each time I gave someone, they give it back to me. So now I have a bunch of smiles. What am I to do? I think I keep a couple and give the rest to you.
Take a moment and think, who's the first person that comes to your mind right now when you hear the word friend? Friendship is one of the most cherished bonds in life. It's a connection of hearts and minds built on trust, understanding, and unconditional support. True friends stand by us on our struggles and make ordinary moments unforgettable. Whether near or far, old or new, friendship brings color to our lives and reminds us that we're never alone. My name is Fatima Hated, grade 5A. Excitedly, I'm gonna read an interesting poem titled Friendship. A friend is like a shining star. No matter where you go, they are never far. They walk beside you every day, through cloudy skies or skies of gray. They laugh with you when things are fun and help you when the race is not won. They listen when you need to talk and cheer you on with every walk. When you feel down or kind of small, they pick you up and help you stand tall. They know the words to make you smile and sit with you a little while. They help you learn, they help you grow. They teach you things you didn't know. They'll never tease, they never fight. And if they do, they make it right. A friend can be from anywhere, with different clothes or different hair. But deep inside, you'll always see their heart is full of loyalty. So, treasure every friend you find. Be gentle, generous, and kind. Because true friends, just like a song, will stay with you your whole life long. Thanks for your attention.
الشباب والصبايا ورا ممنوع حدا من بعض يقول لي مش قادر يحفظ تاريخ. طيب شو؟ نحن رح نكرمكم كلكم، نعتبركم all winners، اوكي؟ تفضلي مس ريان.